Hello, my name is Luna, and you're listening to Infinite Souls, a podcast for that real talk about consciousness, spirituality, and realizing our infinite potential. Mucho, mucho love and light. Hi, lovies. Welcome to another episode of Infinite Souls Podcast. I'm so happy to be here, happy to have you guys all here, and I'm super excited for today's episode because we're going to be talking about something that I really, really love. Well, there's two things that I'm talking about, but one of them is like my all-time favorite. So, what is that? Meditation and shadow work. We're going to be talking about both of those things and how you can use meditation to do shadow work. Double whammy. I hope you enjoy this episode, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about shadow work. Let me know about your journey, if you've done any shadow work on yourself so far, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so let's get into it. Shadow work. What is shadow work? That term gets thrown around a lot, but not everybody knows the steps and how to do it for themselves. So I want to give you a better idea so that you can begin to self-heal on your own. I did most of my shadow work on my own, although I continue to do it. It's a life thing, a lifestyle. It's something that you will continue to do into your whole life because you will have new experiences as well as the same experiences, but you're going to see deeper, different truths as you start to heal, and those lessons comes back around. They're not going to be like they were before. It's going to get easier. You're going to start to see different things because now you're not right here where your trauma is. Now you've climbed up the mountain. Now you got a different perspective and you can see the whole picture, if that makes sense. So shadow work. First of all, what are your shadows? Let's talk about that. What are your shadows? Well, your shadows are the things that you keep hidden in the dark, the things that you may not like about yourself, that you may not want to talk about, the things that hurt you, the things that traumatized you. Okay, so of course you don't want to talk about those things because they're traumatic. And anytime that you're remembering something, remember the brain remembers these things, right? But the body is connected to the brain, right? Your body doesn't know the difference between time. It doesn't know when that memory, what is happening. It just feels the emotions, and all those chemical reactions start happening in your body again when you remember something. So your body is experiencing it like it's there, except it's a memory, right? And so that's why people don't want to remember these things, because it re-traumatizes them. That's why sometimes traditional psychiatry can re-traumatize people if they're not helping them integrate into society afterwards. But I do believe that as a society, medicine should change, and it is going to change. I believe that Western medicine has a place, but I think that it's missing things. It's not holistic. It only sees the body as a body separate from your brain and your emotions and your energy. But your emotions, which are energy, your feelings, which are energy, the energy inside of your body and your brain and your heart and your body, it all has to be in coherence for it to work properly. They're all communicating with each other constantly. So they are very deeply interconnected. In Eastern medicine, they talk about the meridian system. It's an energetic system that energy flows through, right? And all of those things are connected to different parts of the body, different organs, different emotions. And I think that really should be incorporated into medicine now. But aside from that, let's get back to the topic. So I kind of explain what shadow work is, or shadow is, what your shadow is. So now I want to tell you some steps in how to begin to do shadow work for yourself. I did a video on shadow work previously. However, I have added 3 more steps for you guys after I rewatched the video and have done more work on myself and am now a Reiki master and experience energy in a holistic way. I have added some things that I think are very, very helpful. So, number 1. First, you have to Number 1. First, you have to identify your shadow. Okay? You may know some of them, but there are some that we keep so compartmentalized that we don't even know they're there, or that they're even running some type of show, you know? And I speak from experience, because when I started doing shadow work, there's another thing. When I started doing shadow work and healing the things that I already knew that I needed to heal, more things started to come up. Things that I was like, what? I didn't even know that and that were connected. And also, randomly, I would just have like memories pop up into my head when I'm washing dishes or some shit, you know? And these memories I had never remembered before, because a lot of my memories from when I was a child are compartmentalized, which means I basically shoved everything to the back, didn't want to be present. I was always in my imagination as a kid, because I didn't want to face the things that were hurting me. I didn't even know how to name them, you know, because you're a kid, you're young. So when you know the things that you're going to work on, that is you already identifying them, right? And when you identify it, that thing that you are then looking at, you're not running away from, now you're running towards. You're looking at it, observing it, seeing it for what it is. It just by observation alone, it begins to transmute on its own. The energy will begin to transmute on its own, because now it is exposed. Now it is seen. It is exposed to the light, so the light begins to transmute it. Now it begins to do that process for you, right? But the more you observe it and the more that you start to integrate and do more shadow work, then it will completely transmute into something else, like turning hate into love, for example, right? So first step, identify, okay? Second step, number 2, feel it and heal it, right? When you feel it, you heal it. So feeling your emotions from whatever trauma or whatever it is that you're trying to heal, right? So let's use myself as an example. When I worked on my childhood trauma, because I have some sexual trauma from when I was a child, and when I worked on that, I knew that it happened to my child self, but I never even went back to that memory because it was so painful for me. And so I knew that it was an experience. I knew that it had happened to me. I knew that it made me not feel safe inside of my own body, and I didn't want to be seen after that. I didn't want to be seen as a sexual object because of that trauma. So I knew that I had to go back and remember that memory, right? So I did inner child healing through meditation. Most of my healing I've done through the technique of meditation. That's why I said meditation has quite literally saved my life, because all of the healing that I've done, or mostly all of them, has been through meditation. And I believe that almost all of the healing that we do is through some type of meditative state, whether you realize that you are in that meditative state or you're not, because that is when you're able to access the deeper parts of the brain, the subconscious mind. So that is where the change happens. So I believe that most people are in a relaxed state to be able to access that part of the brain when they are doing some healing. Okay, so what did I do? I did meditation for inner child. Specifically, I was going to remember that memory, right? So the meditation it was like a hypnosis. So this hypnosis began, and the gentleman then asks you to remember any memory you want, or let any memory come up for you. Sometimes things come up, you know, that you don't know where you're going or what's up. But I knew where I was going, what memory I was going to. So I went into the meditation and I remembered that memory. And this is the first memory that I remember from my past or through meditation where I was inside of my own body. Most of the time when I remember things or I do meditations, I'm outside of my body and I'm seeing an overview. But this time I was in my body, in the child's body. And it was very intense, and I began to sob and cry. And by crying, that is a release. That is you releasing. Tears are a release. Okay, just the way that we pee to release, we cry to release energy as well. We laugh to release energy. We yell to release energy. We move our body to release energy. All this stuff releases energy. So when you releasing the energy as you're feeling it, feel it and sit with it and console yourself. When you feel it, you're going to start to heal it, okay? Letting go is further in the steps that I'm going to get into, but the second step is to feel it. So through meditation, you can feel these things and feel the emotion of whatever it was that you are trying to get rid of or trying to change, trying to transmute. Once you feel it and you heal it, step number three is acceptance. Once you have identified it and felt it through your meditation, in the meditation you can bring a sense of acceptance, like this was an experience and it no longer dictates what I'm going to do in the future. It no longer dictates how I feel or think, but it is an experience that I had. And so you accept it as part of your experience here on earth. Okay? I'm not saying it's a fair experience or that you deserved it or nobody should have to go through this, but it is an experience that a lot of us go through. And when you accept it, it feels loved. That shadow aspect of yourself feels loved. And what do we all want? We all just want to feel loved, right? All human beings want to feel loved. And that's okay. It's part of being a human. We need each other. We need community. We need relationships. Not only relationships with others, but with ourselves and with God or Source, Creator, right? So when you accept it as part of your experiences, something happens to your perspective. Your perspective changes. You're no longer a victim of circumstance. You're no longer a victim of what happened to you. Now you've accepted this was part of my experience. It happened. Don't say who it happened to, why it happened, when it just happened. Okay? Once that is done, then you can release it. Then you can let it go. And that's step 4. Step 4 is letting that shit go. Let it go. Go. Just don't, once you have accepted it, stop asking questions. Okay? Don't ask, why did it happen? Why did it have to be me? What can I do to make sure this never happens again? Like all that worry and nonstop questioning, it just is going to put you back into the darkness. Okay, so you have to fill it with something positive. But releasing, letting it go, just letting it go as an experience. It no longer rules me. That release is the key, you know, is one of the, is like the nail in the coffin. I don't know, that sounds wrong, but it is the key, right? And now in my previous video, I only had those 4 steps, and I have 3 more that I want to say to you, okay? Number 5, the new one. Create new thought processes, okay? And integrate new habits, better thoughts. Introduce that, okay? Once you have released the thing, that thing, you want to do the opposite of it, right? Make a sentence, make up an affirmation that is contrary or opposite to the old belief or the old situation, and bring in what you want, right? Create new thought processes, new patterns of thinking, new habits in your life. And that is one of the hardest parts, because when you're going to create these new habits or ways of thinking, there's going to be resistance. And the reason that there is resistance is not because you don't want to do it. You know, of course you do. The reason that there's resistance is because it's a mental program. So anytime you had that thought or that memory, or when you were abused, it created some type of, or when you suffered the trauma, it was a very impactful memory, so it stayed in your mind, ingrained. And that trauma or that shadow then starts to create beliefs in your life, things that you start to do. You don't believe in yourself, you start to act this way, right? So over time, doing and saying and thinking these things over and over and over and over again, that neural pathway in your brain is just getting stronger and deeper and just more prominent, right? So there is an unlearning process that needs to be done. Unlearning, that is like so important. That is the hardest thing actually to do, because saying affirmations, putting binaural beats, saying affirmations is not that hard, right? But it's when you have to unlearn the old beliefs that are contrary to the new thoughts that you're trying to give yourself, right? The unlearning process, that's where the real work is at. So once you start to create new forms of thinking, new habits for yourself to support what you want, then there's number 6, integration. Integrating everything that you've learned in your everyday life and interactions. So everything that you've learned about yourself, you know that you are a bad bitch, you know that you are a badass, you do kick ass, you do rock, you can do that thing that you want to do, you just gotta believe in yourself. Okay, so once you start to do all that good stuff, right, now you're going to walk the walk, not just talk the talk, right? So now you're going to integrate all those new things that you believed, now all those new things that you learned. Now you learn that you are an incarnation of the divine walking this earth, right? So how do you integrate that into your life? You start walking and talking like it. You start acting like it. You start making the choices that reflect that beautiful light being that you are. Okay, so integration, doing the actions, making the changes, having the conversation. I had to crop these 2 videos together because my phone died as I was doing the podcast. So here we go. We'll continue. So accountability, I was talking about having the conversations, having the difficult conversations with the people around you, with your family, with your friends, you know, and that is what integration is, you know, having the difficult conversations. And even if you don't come to the same opinion at the end of the conversation. You're having the conversation because you're expressing how you feel. You're integrating your new beliefs, the new things that you have acquired through your learnings and through your healing. So just by integrating that, by living the way that you want, the living at your highest potential, just by the simple act of you vibrating at a higher frequency, the people around you, their energy is going to start to shift as well, because your energy is affecting everything. Your energy affects everything around you, whether you know it or not, whether you can see it right away or not. Sometimes your energy is so high and the people that you had around were so, if you want to call low vibrational or not aligned to you, that they literally fall away. Like they're no longer in your life after this. And that is a natural realignment from the universe. Okay, so be prepared to let go if you need to let go of habits, beliefs, and people as well. Okay, now the 7th step that I added here, the last one, is ask for help. When you need help, it is okay to ask for help. You don't have to do it alone. Shadow work is hard and it's scary. And sometimes you don't even know where to start. So somebody who has already done the work, or someone who is experienced in helping others and is educated and has done the research, not only the research, but has actually done the work, because you can learn a lot of things, but until you incorporate it into your life, then it's not really gonna show something, right? So ask people for help. They're out there. There's people who want to help. If you ever need help from anything, any questions, let me know. I am here to help, especially if you want to do shadow work. I've done a lot of shadow work on myself, and I am continuing to do that. So I have personal experience, and also since I am a Scorpio, Scorpios are all about the darkness. Like, they know the darkness, so they're not afraid of it. And I can speak for myself that is true. Okay. So asking for help from others doesn't always have to be asking them for something. Okay, something that you can do, and this is getting other people's help without like directly asking them, hey, give me this, or I need this, right? What you do is you tell someone that you trust what you're going to do, what you want to do, how you're going to live your life. Now, what are your new beliefs? Who the new you is, right? Or what habit you're trying to do. For example, let's say you're working out now, right? So you tell somebody that, and so this person who you love and you talk to often, okay, that you talk to almost daily, I would say daily. If you don't talk to anybody daily, someone you talk to really often, and have them be an accountability partner. Just by you telling them what you're gonna do, they're gonna be holding you accountable now, and you're gonna feel like, oh, okay, now I gotta do it because I told this person, right? So that helps a lot to keep you on the path, to keep you on track. And you can also tell somebody, hey, can you be my accountability partner? Hey, can you be my accountability partner? Let me know when I'm fucking up. And that also is a very helpful way to work with others. Now, on to the next topic. The next topic is meditation. And I'm going to tell you how you can use meditation to heal and to do shadow work. So, what is meditation? Meditation can look different for everyone. I should do a whole video on meditation. It's going to be a long one. Meditation doesn't mean that you're just sitting still in the regular lotus pose with your eyes closed. That is a method That is a form of meditation, yes, and a very good one. However, it is not the only one. Meditation is actually a state of mind. The state of mind where your thoughts are not at the forefront. The state of mind where you are in the stillness that is between thoughts. So if you've ever meditated or tried it, you notice when you first sit down to meditate, your thoughts are just constantly running, right? You hear all the thoughts that you have. And the more that you start to do this practice and follow the breath is your anchor. So meditation would be a technique of creating stillness in the mind, which means expanding the space between thoughts, and being in that space. And also combination of breathing. So the breath is life. Breath is everything, okay? The breath keeps you anchored when you're doing yoga, and also in meditation. It keeps you out of the thinking mind. So what you can do is you can tell your brain to count the breaths, to count how long the inhale and how long the exhale is. That keeps your mind occupied so that you can be in that liminal space, which is the meditative space. So once you have relaxed your mind and your body, you can enter to different brain wave states. So I have something written down here that I wrote down. This is research from Dr. Joe Dispenza. He is an amazing just person, human being. I don't know him personally, but he's brought meditation to the science world and has really connected the two. So here's what happens in the body. So when we are in every regular waking life, we are in beta brainwave state, okay? That's our brainwaves, beta, which means that you're aware of your body inside of space, like where your body is in this space, right? And when you start to meditate, your body falls asleep, but your mind is still active. That's where you want to get. The alpha brainwave state is where you enter when you start meditating, because now that you've closed off the other senses, now you can see your imagination. Now you can see pictures in your mind. You can create images. That's what imagination is, right? So that is the imagination phase, the alpha brain waves, okay? Then, like I said, your body begins to fall asleep because it's so relaxed, and your mind is still conscious and alert. Now that is when you switch over to theta brain waves. What happens when you're in theta? It's called they call it the perfect hypnagogic state. So that is when you're fully deep into your meditation. Now, after that, what happens is that your brain, like when they put these scans, the electrodes on your brain, and they do these scans, they see that the brain starts to light up and it goes into delta. I think it's, delta. So delta brainwave state is a catatonic state where you can reach your unconscious mind and restore the body. So when you're in that delta state, you're staying there, going that delta, and that is where you can have hypnotherapy. That is where you can heal your trauma. That is where you can introduce new ways of thinking, new beliefs patterns, and you can heal the body. You can literally tell your cells to be healthy. Every cell in my body is at its optimal potential, is working at its best possible potential. Every cell in my body is regenerated to full exceptional health. And the cells will do it because you're accessing the subconscious mind, right? Because of the kind of brainwave state that you're in. Now, when you're doing this, your brain begins to synchronize and to get very organized. Theta and alpha, right, begin to synchronize together. And this switches on what they call the parasympathetic nervous system. And also it brings up spinal fluid from your spine up to your brain to your pineal gland, your third eye. Now, when these brain waves begin to synchronize in your brain and everything is lit up, you enter gamma brain waves. That is like the climax to the meditation. It is like having an orgasm in a meditation. And that is when you go into high states of feeling bliss, complete bliss and love. You feel like everything that you need, you don't like, everything, all your needs are met. You don't need anything. You're good. Like, you feel fully supported and loved. Gamma is this rush of energy that you get from source, that you download through your consciousness. So meditation is fucking very, very powerful, and a lot of things happen to your brain when you're doing meditation. I mean, how many brainwave states did I just name that you go through? When you are in that gamma brainwave state, that's where they've measured certain things that people are doing now through meditation. They have measured telomeres, which are the little like shoestrings at the end of your DNA structure, and that will tell your life expectancy. So they have seen people grow those telomeres, which means that they are going to live longer now. They've got more of their life back. It also, meditation has also been proven, they've done the research, to change your genetic expression. You're able to change your gene expression. Okay, look up epigenetics, do some research on that. It's been proven that you can change your gene expression, but it doesn't come easy. You have to work on it. You have to keep trying. You know, you have to, it's a practice. It's a lifestyle meditation. What else happens when you meditate? You stimulate your stem cells, okay? And your immune system. You boost that immune system, stimulate it, and it gets better. Not only that, but your body, when you're meditating, creates a protein called Serpin A5. I learned this information when I attended a webinar by Dr. Joe Dispenza, where they released the numbers and the research that they've been doing over the years. And this protein coats your cells. Your body creates more of this protein, and it coats your cells. Now, what is very impressive about this is that since we were going through that pandemic, they tested to see people were getting sick, you know, with the virus. So people who were meditating, or even people who had just learned to meditate, they were able to coat their cells with this Serpin A5 protein. And so when they were exposed to this virus, the actual virus cell, which has spike proteins which attach to the cell with a spike, the spike could not attach because of the protein that was coating the cell. So people were not getting sick, right? Not contracting the virus. And if they did contract the virus, they were getting healed much, much quicker and, you know, releasing that. And the symptoms were much less than somebody who didn't meditate. So the proof is out there, and it's astonishing. It's it seems like it's too good to be true, but that's because if it seems too good to be true, it's because you haven't meditated. Meditation is a practice, okay? It's something that you have to do daily. It's a lifestyle change. And when you do that lifestyle change, your whole life starts to change just because you began to meditate. And if you think it's too good to be true, try meditating for a week straight. I challenge you. Meditate every single day for 1 week. Even if you meditate short, like for 5 minutes or something, do it. And then come back to this video and let me know in the comments what happened, what changed or what didn't change. Okay? I guarantee you will begin to see major changes in your mind, your body, your soul, your environment, the people around you. Life gets brighter, and you experience the rush from the gamma, right? That is undeniable what the power of your consciousness is, and you can never go back once you realize that. You can't unsee what you've seen, with your inner eye. So meditation is very, very powerful. I tell everyone to meditate, okay, because meditation can be done by anyone and everyone. Now I'm going to go over the other types of meditations. Aside from just sitting there still, you can do a shower meditation. So in the shower, you begin to just feel with your senses, right, on your skin, feel the water, offering gratitude to the water, how far it's come, and how you have warm water. So you offer gratitude to the water, and you feel it all over your skin, on your hair, everywhere. And just by you putting your attention on the feeling of it on your skin, then what happens is that you turn off that thinking mind, because now you're focused on your senses. That is a form of meditation. I'm sure that you've done this before. You've been in the shower just, oh, I feel so good, and you're just like relaxed there. That is a meditation on its own, okay? Because you got out of the fight or flight system and you're now relaxed and you're in the parasympathetic. And another way of meditating is a walking meditation. You can go for a walk around your block. No phone, okay? No phone. Don't be on it. Just observe your surroundings. Be present. Be in the moment. Look at the sky, look at the trees, connecting with nature, sitting under a tree and just watching the tree, just looking at it without making up any stories about the tree, without trying to explain the tree, without trying to identify what kind of tree it is. Just no judgment, just look at it. That is a form of meditation too. You can meditate with your eyes open. You can meditate walking. You can dance, and it can be a meditation, okay? A full release and expression of energy. So there are many, many ways that you can begin to meditate. And you can switch it up every day. Not every day has to look the same. For people who don't like, the same thing every day. But meditation quite literally saved my life. It took me out of a very dark place where I hated myself. I didn't like myself. I was abusing alcohol and drugs and sex for reasons that I didn't know. They were dormant until I began to meditate. Then I was confronted with them. We always know, but sometimes they're compartmentalized. Sometimes they're locked away. Sometimes we're just ignoring it. So I've been able to heal my trauma, and I'm still working on it. Obviously, it's something that is kind of like a lifelong thing, but it gets so much easier and so much more beautiful, and you move past the trauma, and then you start to see other new things, that are coming up, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way to reprogram your mind, to heal your body, to connect with spirit, with the divine, to manifest things. You can meditate and visualize the life that you want or what it is that you're manifesting. That is amazing way to manifest. Like it's like my favorite way to manifest, to be honest. It works really fast. So meditation helped me love myself a little bit more every day, helped me realize, you know what, I am powerful. I really can do what I desire. I really can achieve my dreams and goals. Made me believe in myself, helped me to believe in myself. And I still struggle with self-confidence issues here and there. As of recent, it was pretty bad, and so and I had even stopped meditating, and I just really saw myself start to decline more, my mental health, how I was talking to myself and all that when I stopped meditating. And so I didn't meditate maybe for like a month, because I usually do it daily. And this month, this last couple, I think it was like 2 months ago, I just was meditating maybe like once a week or every other day. And it was still a little bit, but I wasn't really I was just like, I'll put it on and then I would like, oh, I don't want to meditate, and I would go. Because I was in a bad place. Like was not mentally believing in myself. And me not meditating was making it worse, spiraling out. And then instead of meditating, I would go and grab my bong, and do the thing. And so all that stuff really, a spirit spoke to me and was like, you know what you should do. Why aren't you meditating? Where's your spiritual practice? Why haven't you come and spend time with me? And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna make this habit that I had of meditating every day. I'm gonna do it. Why did I stop? I was doing it already. Creating a habit is so hard. Why did I stop it? And so I cleansed my space and I began to meditate again every single day, forcing myself in the morning, because once you stop, it's like you can feel the difference. But it's like when you go to the gym, right, and then you're working out every day and you take 2 or 3 days off of the gym, then when you go back to the gym after that the fourth day, it's like you have to start all over from the beginning, right? So that's where I was as far as my habit of meditating in the morning. I was resistant to it, and the resistance was from my ego trying to hold me back, keeping me small. And so I started forcing myself every day. By the 4th day, I was back on my schedule. I was like, okay, now I want to meditate when I wake up. Now I actually want to meditate when I wake up. Now I can actually sit through a 15-minute meditation or a 20-minute meditation, when the first few days or first week I was like struggling, So it is a process. Meditation, once I started meditating again, I started even doing yoga again. It's just, I meditate daily, and I have since 2015. But like I said, I took a break off for a month, and it was okay. I think that we shouldn't get attached to our practices, our spiritual practices, so it's okay to take breaks. But I feel like you should also know when it's time to come back, when it's time to incorporate new things, and that you are very honest with yourself and your situation and your mental state. Radical honesty with the self is very important. And yeah, now I'm meditating every day, every morning, like I usually do. I'm meditating twice a day now, how I was before that month where I was like depressed. But yeah, now I feel so much more inspired, so much more clear, and happy about life, excited that good things will come and are coming and are here. And I feel like myself again. I feel like myself again. So I'm really happy that I've continued my meditation practice. And I hope that, bless me. And I hope that, and I hope that you get to try it too, and that it helps you the way that it helped me. Now, how do you use meditation to do shadow work? Well, I can go over a few things, a few types of meditations that you can do. So when you identify your shadow, you know what you're working on. Let's say you're working on confidence. You've already worked on the trauma that, okay, let's say you're working on confidence, right? What you can do is you can put on binaural beats, a sound bath, or frequencies that are for the solar plexus chakra. That is for confidence and willpower. So that's a form of meditation you can do to help heal that area of you, right? During this meditation, you may have memories come up. Those memories are your teachers. They show you where the trauma is. They show you what needs to be seen. Okay, another thing you can do an inner child healing meditation. This is prime time, the best, okay? Inner child meditation. You get into that meditative state where you're relaxed and chill, and then you think of a memory of you as a child. Whatever age comes up, it could be a teenager sometimes, it'll come up and you're gonna be there. You're gonna feel yourself with your younger self, with your child self, and you talk to them. You talk to them through your meditation and you say, I love you, I'm here for you, you don't have to fight anymore, I'm in control now, you are powerful, you are worthy, you're lovable, all the good things that you wanted to hear when you were a kid. And when you're doing this meditation, you're probably going to be very emotional. You're probably going to be crying your eyes out like I did, like I have, and but during that crying session or during that conversation, something just gets released. And then when you're living your life, everyday life, you start to see the influence of the inner child that is happy inside of you. I did this inner child workshop one time that my inner child was so happy that whole week I would just randomly burst into giggles, like just giggling out of nothing, just randomly, because I was happy. Like I felt so happy, right? So your inner child, if your inner child is seen and happy and heard, wow, so many shifts and changes happen, especially in your relationships. So that's another form of shadow work that you can do through meditation. Of course, there are other ways. These are just the ones that I find so helpful that I have done. There's somatic movement that you can do, which is still kind of like in the meditation realm because you're dancing, so you're not in your mind. So that's another beautiful thing. Prayer too. Prayer is a form of meditation. But you want to make sure that you are being affirmative when you're praying. So affirmative prayer, like it's already happened. It's happened already. It's yours. Okay? And yeah, those are some of the ways that you can heal through meditation as far as shadow work. There are many ways, and I hope that you keep doing your research and that you keep being an amazing self-healer because you fucking rock, okay? You have unlimited potential, and I love you so much. I'm going to leave you guys here, and I will see you guys next Friday. Like always, mucho, mucho love and light. Bye.